Welcome to the Scientific Publications channel. Artificial intelligence has already become part of academic writing. Today, researchers use AI to search for wording, edit text, translate, structure articles, prepare summaries, analyze literature, or handle the technical processing of data. And that is precisely why authors have a logical question. Is it permissible to use AI when writing an academic article? Does the journal need to be informed about this? And where is the line between useful assistance and a breach of academic integrity? Let's start with the main point. The use of AI itself is not an automatic violation. Most modern publishers and journals don't ban AI outright. They treat it as an auxiliary tool, but there is an important condition. The author must control the outcome. Verify the facts, not conceal substantial use of AI, and not present AI-generated text as their own scholarly contribution. In other words, AI can help, but it cannot replace the author. What is already permitted? First of all, AI can be used for preparatory work. For example, for generating ideas, formulating a research question, creating an article outline, or structuring already written text. AI can also be useful for language editing, improving readability, style, academic tone, translation, or adapting text to the requirements of an English language journal. However, it is important here to distinguish between simple technical checking and substantial intervention in the text. If a tool has only corrected spelling, punctuation, or grammar, this generally doesn't require a separate declaration. But if AI has substantially rewritten sentences, changed the structure of passages, helped form content blocks, or translated parts of the manuscript, such use is better declared. AI can also be used separately for working with literature. For example, summarizing articles, grouping sources, or searching for possible research directions. But there is a significant risk here. AI can invent sources, confuse journal titles, authors, DOIs, or publication years. Therefore, every source must be verified manually in Scopus, Web of Science, PubMed, Google Scholar, or on the journal's website. Now for the key element of transparency, the declaration of the use of artificial intelligence. This is a brief explanation for the journal's editorial office, in which the author states whether AI tools were used in preparing the article, which specific tool was used, for what tasks and to what extent. The idea behind the declaration is not to punish the author for using technology. On the contrary, it helps demonstrate that the author worked responsibly. They didn't hand the writing of the article over an algorithm, but used AI as an auxiliary tool and personally verified the final result. What is usually indicated in the declaration? First, the name of the tool. For example, ChatGPT, Elicit, Perplexity, or any other service. Second, the purpose of use. For example, language editing, translation, text condensation, improving structure, preparing a draft abstract, or technical assistance with data analysis. Third, the extent of involvement. That is, it must be explained whether AI was used for individual passages, for language proofreading, for preparing an outline, or for working with the entire manuscript. And fourth, it must be stated that the author has personally verified and edited the material and bears full responsibility for the content of the article. For example, a declaration might read as follows. During the preparation of this manuscript, the author used name of the tool for languages editing and improving the readability of the text. After using the tool, the author reviewed and edited the material and takes full responsibility for the content of the publication. If artificial intelligence was used not for the text itself, but within the research, for example, for data processing, image analysis, coding model building, or statistical processing, this generally needs to be described in the methodology section. In such case, it's important to indicate not only the name of the tool, but also exactly how it was used so the other researcher can understand the logic of the work. And now, reasons why a manuscript can be rejected. The first reason is concealed use of AI, where the journal requires a declaration. If the author didn't disclose the use of AI and the text shows clear signs of automatic generation or contains AI-related errors, the editorial office may call the integrity of the work into question. The second reason is fabricated sources. This is one of the most serious problems. If the reference list contains non-existent articles, incorrect DOIs, invented journals, or references that cannot be confirmed in databases, the manuscript may be rejected as early as the technical verification stage. The third reason is empty text lacking scholarly substance. AI can produce very smooth and formally polished text, but without clear argumentation, analysis without the author's own position, and without novelty. Such text quickly becomes obvious to an editor or reviewer. The fourth reason is fabricated methodology. If the author has used AI to invent methods, data, results, or statistics that didn't actually exist, this is no longer simply an error. It may be regarded as fabrication or falsification. The fifth reason is misattribution of authorship. AI cannot be an author or co-author because it doesn't bear scholarly, legal, or ethical responsibility for the article. Authorship presupposes the ability to be accountable for the accuracy, integrity, conclusion, and submission of the work. Only a human can do this. This is precisely why the main rule is very simple. AI can assist, but it must not create the article in place of the author. To avoid problems, it is worth taking several steps before submitting a manuscript. Check the specific journal's policy on the use of AI. Don't solely rely on general rules of Scopus or Web of Science, because each journal may have its own requirements. Check all sources, DOIs, citations, and factual statements. Don't use AI to create non-existent data, results, or methodology. Do not upload confidential data, personal information, unpublished materials, or text to which you don't hold the rights. And most importantly, preserve your own analytical contribution. It is the author who must formulate the research idea, interrupt the results, draw conclusions, and be responsible for the content. Thus, a declaration of the use of AI is a way of showing the editorial office that the author is working professionally and with integrity. AI in academic writing is already permitted in many cases, but it must be a tool, not a hidden author of the article. If you need assistance with editing an article, translation, formatting a reference list, checking for uniqueness, or preparing material for submission to a journal, get in touch with the company's scientific publications. And so, not to miss important developments in the field of science and scientometrics, subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you in new videos!